Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever been stuck in the middle of a big change at work and it just felt chaotic, confusing, maybe even like it was set up to fail from the start? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, today we're going to unpack a tool designed to fix exactly that.
So let's just get right into it. This is the million-dollar question, right? A company rolls out some new system, or they restructure a whole department. And after all the meetings and all the planning, it just falls flat. Why does this keep happening? And there it is. It's actually that simple. We get so obsessed with the what, the new software, the new org chart, the process maps, that we totally forget about the who. We forget that a change only works if the actual human beings involved can make the shift. So, how do we get this right? Well, that's where this framework called ADKAR comes in. It's a game plan designed to put the focus right back where it belongs, on the people. The whole ADKAR model was actually born from research into this exact problem. Back in '98, its founder, Jeff Hyatt, wanted to know why some changes succeed and others just don't. And the secret sauce he found was this. It's all about guiding each individual person through their own personal journey of change. And honestly, this right here is the best way to think about it. A GPS doesn't just show you your final destination, right? It gives you those crucial turn-by-turn directions. ADKR does the exact same thing, but for the human side of change. It tells you where someone is on their journey and what they need to get to the next step. All right, so what are these turn-by-turn directions? The whole model is built on 5 clear, straightforward stages that have to happen in order. Let's break them down. So here you have it: awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. And here's the most important rule: you can't skip ahead. Each step literally builds the foundation for the one that comes after it. If you have a breakdown at any one of these stages, the whole thing can just fall apart. First up, awareness. Before anyone is going to change, they have to understand why it's even necessary. And this is so much more than just sending out a company-wide email. It's about really communicating the reasons, the risks of doing nothing, and actually giving people a chance to ask the tough questions. And check out this real-world example of how powerful this is. When Microsoft made its massive shift to cloud services, they didn't just announce it. They spent 6 full months on an awareness campaign, sharing data, talking about competitors, you name it. And the result? A whopping 85% of their employees actually understood why this move was so critical. That's how you build a foundation. Okay, so people get the why. Now you have to get to the what's in it for me. This is the desire stage. This is where you have to shift from just an intellectual understanding to genuine personal motivation. You gotta tackle resistance head-on and show people how this change benefits them personally. Adobe totally nailed this. When they moved from selling software in a box to a subscription model, a huge, scary change, they didn't just talk about the company's bottom line. They focused on what it meant for their people: more stable, predictable income and better opportunities for career growth. Now that gets people on board. So, let's recap. People know why the change is happening, and they actually want to be part of it. But desire is useless if they don't know how to change. That's stage 3, knowledge. This is the practical, nuts and bolts part of the process. It means giving people the right training, workshops, and access to experts who can show them the ropes. Now listen up, because this is a big one. This is a distinction that trips up so many projects. Knowing how to do something is not the same as being able to do it. Just because you read a book on flying a plane doesn't mean you can actually fly it, right? Ability is where the rubber meets the road. It's all about practice, hands-on coaching, and getting real feedback until that new skill becomes second nature. And last but definitely not least is reinforcement. This is probably the most skipped step of them all, and it's absolutely fatal to skip it. Why? Because human nature is to slide back into old, comfortable habits. Reinforcement is all about making the change stick. You got to celebrate the wins, recognize people for adopting the new way, and use data to make sure it's actually happening. This is how a project becomes the new normal. So you might be thinking, okay, this ADKR thing makes sense, but there are tons of change models out there, and you're absolutely right. So let's quickly compare it to another one of the heavy hitters. The biggest difference really comes down to this: perspective. ADKR is what we'd call a bottom-up model. Its philosophy is if we can help every single person make the change, then the organization as a whole will change. Other famous models, like Kotter's 8-step process, are top-down. They start with the big organizational moves first. And you can see that difference really clearly here. Kotter's steps are things like create a sense of urgency or build a guiding team. These are high-level strategic actions. Now, it's not about which one is right or wrong. The truth is, they work best together. You can think of Kotter as the organizational master plan, and ADCAR as the essential person-by-person roadmap that makes that plan actually come to life. Okay, let's pull all this together. How can you use this GPS to make sure your next big change actually sticks? Well, let's be real about it. The massive strengths of ADKR is that it zeroes in on the individual. That's why it's so good at reducing resistance. But it's not a silver bullet. The biggest challenge? That individual focus takes time and resources. You can't just send an email and call it a day. It means real coaching and support. And it absolutely, positively requires strong leaders who are visible and championing the change every step of the way. So the next time you're facing a big change, either at work or anywhere else, I want you to think about that GPS. Don't just obsess over the final destination, the new process or the new strategy. Think about the individual turn-by-turn directions that every single person is going to need to get there. Which leaves me with one final question for you. What journey in your world is failing right now simply because you forgot to give people a map?